Directs governors, state agencies to clear pending bills, Badi Mbugo to appear before Nairobi MCAs over revenue collection, and Iran executes 4 convicted of Israeli bomb plot.
Ikra 3 p.m. news begins now.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. 3 minutes past 3. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Welcome to Ikra News. My name is Ramla Abdi. Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has urged the Council of Governors, COG and state agencies to fast-track the payment of pending bills for the financial year 2022-2023. Gachagua hosted the COG state agencies and top government officials for the 22nd ordinary session of the Intergovernmental Budget Economic Council IBEC meeting at his current residence. He stated that the government remains committed to achieving timely disbursements of funds to counties, noting that the payments are nearly up to date until December 2023. The second in commander further urges leaders to partner with the national government to help combat graft, which is posing as a threat to the rising wage bill. He lauded the leaders for supporting the government's ambitious plans to spur economic growth in the nation, stating that President William Ruto personally remains committed to the success of devolution and improved service delivery to Kenyans. And Kenya risks missing its economic growth targets in the medium term as the country grapples with high debt distress and a deteriorating macroeconomy operating environment. According to the Institute of Public Finance (IPF), in its latest macro fiscal analytical snapshot report, the country finds itself in a tight spot following years of successive borrowing, coupled with the inability of the private sector to create sufficient jobs for millions of young people entering the job market annually. The report notes that since 2014, persistent high fiscal deficits have resulted in a swift escalation of public debt, now standing at 70% of the GDP. The recent depreciation of the Kenyan shilling against the US dollar signifies a downgrade in the country's economy outlook. Furthermore, the elevated risk of the debt distress, as highlighted by the IMF, poses challenges in effectively managing external debt servicing. Speaking during the official launch of the report, the Institute of Public Finance (IPF) CEO James Muragure noted that for Kenya to maintain robust economic growth, it must put in place the necessary fiscal levers to promote faster private sector-driven growth. And top officials who served at the defunct Nairobi Metropolitan Service are set to step foot at City Hall. This is after a Nairobi County Assembly Committee ad hoc committee probing the decline of Nairobi's revenue invited the officials for a meeting. NMF Director General Lieutenant Mohammed Badi and former State House Controller Kinuthia Mbugua are among those invited to the sitting set to take place tomorrow. The officials are expected to shed more light on the nature, ownership and operations of the Nairobi Revenue System (NRS) before the ad hoc committee led by Majority Leader Peter Imotok. Also, they are expected to give details of the administrators, hosts and all persons who had access to the said system during the NMS period. The invited officials will also enlighten the committee on whether NMS received an up-to-date reconciliation of the revenues collected through the Nairobi Revenue System, and if yes, whether they could share the same with the MCA. In other news, 7 more people have been charged at Milimani Law Courts with tax evasion amounting to 6.7 million Kenya shillings in a case of milk powder smuggling. The 7 suspects, who include Ahmed Ibrahim, Osama Abdi Karim, Abdi Malik Muhammad, Abdi Wahid Osman Saeed, Abdullahi Dahir Hussein and Nabuswa, appeared before Senior Magistrate Bernard Ochoi. According to a statement by Kenya Revenue Authority KRA, the suspects were arrested within Isli Estate in Nairobi after they were found in possession of 7,284 tins of assorted milk powder brands and 7 bags of Hilwa branded milk powder without valid import permit and proof of payment of customs duty. They denied the charges and were each granted a bond of 2 million Kenya shillings with alternative bail of 500,000 Kenya shillings. The case will be mentioned on the 7th of February 2024. This brings those charged in January for tax evasion and illicit trade in milk powder to 15 in number.
On to the international news.
Over to the international news is that Iran has executed 4 men it says were linked to an Israeli intelligence operation. The death sentence was carried out after the Supreme Court rejected appeals, according to Iranian state media. The quartet was accused of planning a bomb attack ordered by Israel's Mossad agency. The men were convicted of illegally entering Iran from Iraq's northern Kurdish region to attack a factory in the central city of Isfahan that produces equipment for the Ministry of Defense and Armed Forces logistics. The operation was planned for summer 2022 but was averted by Iranian intelligence. Iran and Israel are longtime foes. They are currently locked in a row over Iran's nuclear program. Israel accuses Iran of backing armed groups such as Hamas and Hezbollah, with which it is fighting. Iran says Israel has carried out a number of killings of Iranian officials and scientists, accusation that Tel Aviv neither confirms nor denies. And now you're up to date on Ikra News at 11 minutes past 3. For more these and other stories, do join us at 6 p.m. for another full bulletin in Swahili. My name is Ramla Abdi. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon.